Give us any chance, we'll take it. Read us any rule, we'll break it. We're gonna make our dreams come true.
Welcome to National Night, a podcast by 8 seasons in a row. Ms. Fernandez and
I'm Chris Wardner. Hey, do you got $40?
we can always use $40. This is some Enchanted earring from season 7 of Laverne Shirley, and Chris is going to some facts about all these folks coming up later, except for Tom Tribovich, who is being elusive, as we've covered in previous podcasts. And here's what the episode's about. Frank delivers a very special gift to Laverne, a pair of diamond earrings which once belonged to her late mother Josephine. After Pop tells her that he's going to give the earrings as a gift to Edna, Laverne decides to wear them to a big date with a man who swears he's a Hollywood agent. Laverne soon learns far too much about the cheapness and grasping nature of Willie Marsh when he tries to steal her earrings and forces her to walk home alone. Laverne quickly realizes that she accidentally lost one of the earrings in the Marshmobile, and Shirley have to go up to the Hollywood Hills, forcing them to confront Vile Octopus Marsh. Can they retrieve the earrings before Frank finds out that they've taken them away without his permission? What do you think about this one?
This is one of those, I like a lot of trivial aspects about the episode, but aside from the ending and the whole theme of the earrings themselves, I don't know how well it completely works for me. I like parts, but I don't necessarily like the whole thing. That's kind of my issue with it.
For me, this kind of falls into this pit of Laverne is being too credulous and she's dating these terrible men.
Yeah.
Which is very much a season 7 plotline. Like, she would date terrible guys, but you could see what their appeal was before.
Mm-hmm.
In this episode, this guy is basically a gross, shitty guy in a leisure suit.
Oh, God.
That you would run into a singles bar in the 70s.
I'm actually really glad you said a guy in a leisure suit, because I was just thinking as you were starting to getting ready to describe him, it's Larry Laffer.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is him. But,
Ugh.
Ugh. Normally, she had a decent BS radar. She would be led astray by her glands, but we could look at these guys and go, okay, he's at least surface level hot. I can see why she's going after him. Or he does dumb, stupid macho stuff, and she gets turned on by dumb, stupid macho stuff. Here, this is a dude who is so transparently skeezy, and he is so transparently a liar, and so transparently giving her a BS line. That it's amazing that she's actually at the point of making out with this dude before it light bulbs to her that he thinks she's rich and is going to try to steal her money.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bad look for Laverne. She's going to do worse things as the season goes on, as we lead into season 8, where she does even worse stuff.
Ugh, God.
But it's like her BS detector has completely disappeared. It's like she's just going out with anybody who asks her at this point.
Exactly, yeah. And especially anybody, as you're saying, like the credulity, right, is like this is Hollywood. Everyone talks a big game. This would have been okay as like a first 5 or 6 episodes of season 6 thing, maybe. Yeah. But it's nuts. I mean, I just love the fact the guy's even named Willie Marsh, House of Slime, but Willie Marsh, and I remember mentioning to you, I mean, the guy's name is basically Dick Swamp.
Yep. You said that directly. He's Dick Swamp. I'm like, yep, that's accurate. And he's Dick Swamp. For me, between this and the acrobat dudes, and she keeps on falling into the arms of either terrible men or married men. There's a nice exception coming up next episode.
Mm-hmm. There is,
which we're going to get to. David's a wonderful guy. He's one of the rare season 7 wonderful guys.
Spoilers.
Wow. We already saw the episode and we're supposed to see it.
Yeah, I'm sure the listeners will have as well, but I mean, still, just in case anybody's following along at some point down in the future.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, Willie Marsh is, to get back to this character though, is like and we should talk about the earrings and the whole like conflict of the episode in a bit, but Willie is, because I will say, I'll give credit to the actor, he is so outstandingly in character. He nails the role of slimeball producer so well. We can't not think about the guy. But on top of it, it's like, House of Slime, which I like the fact that Laverne thinks, oh yeah, that was a good movie, because, but I think that already is trying to like almost hint like, oh, she has bad taste in movies, which is stupid because she also, one of her favorite movies is On the Waterfront. But it's like this idea of, he is the kind of producer that, like, we talked about Corman in the last podcast about regarding, B-movie directors and stuff in the 60s. And this is more, he's not Cardoza or, oh crap, the skydivers guy, something Francis.
Francis Coleman.
Coleman Francis.
Coleman Francis, yes.
Yeah, Coleman Francis, yeah. He's not quite that, Coleman because, Francis. That guy, again, it was a case of, Coleman Francis didn't necessarily know what he was doing, but kind of like Ed Wood, he had a passion for what he was doing. So, it's every once in a while they kind of hit. This is the guy that makes this is the guy that's going to make the Creeping Terror. This is the guy that's going to make Attack of the Eye Creatures. Like, where it's a lack of caring. Monster Go-Go is this guy's kind of bag. Yeah. Like, I'm willing to bet the actual literal House of Slime was basically like he just poured Vaseline off from the rafters onto the walls of some set that he practically stole from another production, And the only reason he's even able to get the money he supposedly gets at the end of the episode, or he's trying to get for his next picture, is probably just because of the fact that he made a film that was bad but played as high camp and made a ton of money.
Yeah, exactly. He's the kind of guy who produces like basement level cheapies, kind of stuff that you'd watch in the Raincoat in the New York the theater before Disney came in.
Yeah, the 42nd Street kind of pictures. Yeah,
42nd Street stuff. Yeah,
exactly.
42nd Street kind of stuff. Yep.
And
he's just
exactly. Yeah, because you have the stories of some of these greasy dudes. Like, I would say this is the place between a Roger Corman and oh god, there was that dude in the 70s that the Deep Throat director producer guy.
Him. I can't remember his name offhand, but I know he raped Linda Lovelace.
Exactly. Yeah, total piece of garbage.
Yeah. And of course, the Mitchell brothers and
there's
all the stuff that happened to them.
Oh yeah, that's a hell of a story.
Yeah.
So
when you shoot your brother over the cocaine and the porn theater money, it's bad. Mm-hmm. I think that's what happened.
Something like that. It was sort of like he finally shot him. It was in the 90s, I think, when he finally did it too. It was like 91 or 92. But anyway, but like that.
Yeah, there was a whole movie about it. Emilio Estevez and Charlie Sheen did a movie about it.
It's a fantastic movie, by the way. I really like that film.
I haven't seen that yet.
Oh, it's good. I liked it.
Yeah.
This is why, like I say, it's hard to love this episode, even though there's a lot of these like disparate pieces that I really like, and they don't tie together. I like that Laverne is super intense to the point that she's not even letting Shirley guess what's going on.
Oh yeah. The parts that I like involve the girls' sisterhood and involve Frank being an awesome dad.
Yeah, exactly. All that's great.
Those are the parts that I like. Those are the parts that I adore. And plus, Penny looks great.
Yeah, and we both were commenting on that. Yeah, leggy Laverne this season.
Leggy Laverne. I made a specific mention to our group chat that, my God, Penny's legs were on full display in season 7, and I'm not complaining. That's my exact comment. Because she looked great. The specific outfit that she opens the scene in, that she opens the episode in, is fabulous. She wears a lot of cutoffs over the course of the opening of season 7. Notice that.
I noticed that, yeah, and she's wearing cutoffs in the next episode too, actually.
Yeah, yep. And the much superior moving in, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was also going to say that despite Shirley not getting to answer, she does look great in that green sweater. Yes. I love that green sweater.
Yes, she does. That's a good sweater. They both look great in this episode, to be honest. Cindy actually out for repeats. Cindy Shirley actually out for repeats. She's wearing the outfit from earlier in the season, the Defiant one.
Oh yeah.
Later on, the same blouse and same combo with the skirt. navy skirt. The little bow blouse. Yeah. I love that Laverne picks this guy up while she's buying gum at the drugstore.
Yeah.
And she thinks he's a real Hollywood producer. And it's... Laverne DeFazio is so much smarter than this.
Mm-hmm.
Milwaukee Laverne is so much more savvy than this.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's also the thing, is she is more cynical.
Yeah, and she's more cynical too. She may throw herself at guys who are attractive and look charming, like Mortician, the Magician. She may do foolish things in the name of lust or in love, but when it comes to this episode, she just starts to look foolish because there's nothing interesting or attractive about this guy except he has a fairly, in quote-unquote, cherry-looking convertible, which frankly looks like a junker to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's not shiny. I don't know if it's just the way Tribovich shot it, but it looks like a used car to me.
Yeah, it's. I also wonder if it's because of the fact that with the studio lighting, they gave it more of like a matte finish, like they covered it in a material that made it less shiny.
Possibly.
Because a real shiny cherry convertible, or any sort of car like that, especially those builds. I mean, you see them on like 90s sitcoms, like I mean, they pop. They're very shiny, and so those.
Yeah.
So with those studio lights, that might have been part of the issue.
Yeah, even Miami Vice and obviously Knight Rider knew how to shoot cars. It didn't look good here.
And there's.
But this guy, sorry, guy.
I was just gonna say, there's the right way to shoot cars and there's the wrong way to shoot cars.
Yeah, but she's so credulous here, A, and B, this guy has literally nothing to offer her in looks, even career-wise, except for the possibility of putting her in a movie and his car. That's
because the Brown Derby thing is a scam. He doesn't take her to the Brown Derby. They go to a hot dog stand and eat standing up.
So hot dog stand. Yeah, which is better because you don't drip on your lap. Boom, boom, boom. There's nothing that is worthwhile about him that makes you go, aha, this is why Laverne is seeing this guy, and it just makes it look dumb. And he also looks 1,000 years too old for her, which I'm not ageist in the least bit. But he looks ancient next to her. Ancient. And no shade to the actor.
Yeah.
Involved.
No.
They cast him like this for a reason.
Yeah, well, and that's even the thing is, I mean, he knew Gary, when we get to the actor.
Yeah.
Do you want me to go into talking about the actor? Because I have interesting trivia about this dude. Okay.
Sure. Then we could talk about feelings.
Yeah, because Harvey Miller plays Willie Marsh. He was another former writer's room gent that got to hit the screen on the show. Now, he didn't work in the writer's room for this show very long, but he was in the script consulting for season 4. And yeah, basically season 4. From Quiz Show to Shirley and the Older Man, 20 episodes. So that, I think, pretty much covers all of season 4. Yeah, Who's Papa, Come All Ye Bums, etc. Now, he had known Gary in the old days from like The Odd Couple, Love American Style, Gomer Pyle. He had actually been a longtime comedic writer and actor, even on like Ghost of Mrs. Muir episode. And he actually would keep on directing and producing and even acting until his passing in 1999. So the thing is like, he understands the Hollywood scene because he's had to be the Hollywood hustler and he's met a bunch of these people because he wrote the pilot for Serratus Court. He directed an episode of the League of Their Own 93 TV series. He produced Student Bodies.
Wow.
And as well, he was one of the 3 writers. He was like the 3rd credited writer, so he probably was brought in to punch up a little bit on Private Benjamin, as in the film, not just the show.
Oh. Intriguing.
Mm-hmm. Now,
very intriguing.
Now, here's the thing about sort of sleaze, and because it sounds like he was a comedian. He had a shtick that he did in the 60s. When he was an actor, he was often credited, except for say like this episode, as Harvey Skolnick, Skolnick.
Yeah, I saw that on his IMDb.
So I think that finally gives us backstory to what Skolnick's Pond is referring to in Laverne and Shirley episodes of yore.
Yeah, which is such a dangerous and dirty place that they actually drudge the body up from the bottom of the lake.
Exactly.
It's like, man. Well, if they're gonna name something after you, they might as well name something like that. Something that'll make people remember you. You know?
And even as an actor, he kept working with Gary. He was I suspect he knew Gary, he liked Gary because, he's in Penny and Gary films. He's in like The Other Sister. He's in Awakenings, Beaches, Big, Overboard. So yeah. Yeah. Oh crap! I totally forgot. He's even in Modern Romance, the Albert Brooks film. Coming back to this character, and he nails the characterization of this guy. That's why as we're saying, the credulity of and the sort of the not seeing through his crap of Laverne makes it really difficult. It makes it even almost more frustrating because of how well Harvey plays this character to the hilt as such a slime bag that it's like studio won't give him $2 million, and he won't take $1.5 million in 1966 for a low budget movie.
Man, exactly. Just imagine how little money that would cost. You tell that's a big sign. It's a huge sign that dude is not trustworthy at all with any amount of money at all.
Yeah, and I love his line, needs Frankie Avalon, someone big.
Yeah.
Which I also love because at this point Frankie Avalon was doing like the Million Eyes of Sue Maru at this point.
Yeah. Oh my God, poor Frankie Avalon. Poor guy. And eventually Beach Movies came and revived his career, so.
Yeah.
So the Beach Movie revival in the 80s, which happened. But yeah, Jesus. And the notion of him working with Frankie Avalon, I can actually picture that kind of D-level movies they might make. The beach creature annoys Sandra D. Now, let's talk about the feels here. Let's talk about Frank.
We gotta talk about Frank.
Who bursts in still, no matter what, even though the girls are adults. I love that he found Josephine's earrings in a bank vault with Laverne's baby teeth. And they're like, something young and youthful looking, and all of a sudden he just lowers the boom that he's doing this for Edna. Which is what it seems like initially.
Exactly. I do like that this is a great script setup. Youthful look, whatever you like, he says to Laverne.
Yeah.
Even though he's giving it to Edna. Because I like that he when this gets clarified.
Yeah. That should have made her light bulb, to be frank. Like, why do you say that? To be frank to Frank. I like that Laverne's trying to be accepting here. They belong to a wife, so they go to a wife. It makes you wonder how many things of Josephine's that Laverne has.
Yeah.
And it's like, everything should have gone to her, so it makes you wonder how many fine things that they owned before the pizza bowl was bought. Yeah, we know they didn't have a lot of luxuries, but it was enough to keep the roof over everybody's head. So it's very interesting to think that maybe she brought these earrings with her from wherever she came from when the marriage was arranged, whether it be from Italy, whether it be from some other apartment in Brooklyn. Yeah,
exactly.
It's very It's very impactful if you really think about it.
It is and that's the thing is, the first time I watched this episode, I was like, okay, this is kind of fun. The emotional, I got the emotional content, but I did, as in I understood it, but it didn't emotionally hit me. It was the second viewing that it all started to click together better. And that's where I say it's definitely the strongest material of the episode.
Yeah.
And because as I said, like, I like some of the Willie Marsh stuff. It just doesn't integrate very well here, because I mean, to be honest, the way to tie this together, especially with Frank in that story, is Willie steals the story. He doesn't take the earrings. He's like, he's sort of like, oh my God, trying to get the insurance for that. Oh, forget about it. And he's like, I'll get duplicates made. And that becomes the gag. And that the gag is, he ends up using her for this plot for a movie that ends up going and win an Oscar, Penny's performance is like pitch perfect. It's really subtle. And the way that Frank subtly sets it up, and I like how you can tell, especially when you really know what the answer is, you see Phil knows the answer. He is being subtle with Laverne, youthful look, make a nice pen out of it, fix him up nice, make a nice pen out of it, something. So yeah.
I love the way he's thinking of her. He's thinking of his daughter here. What's going to make her happy? And in the end, that's what ends up happening. It's really sweet.
My note here, by the way, is makes perfect sense to me, and my remark is, does it? Edna's been written out. Doesn't make any sense at all.
I know. This episode kind of cries out for an Edna appearance. It kind of needs her in there saying, honey, it's okay. But she's not there. She's in New York in a successful play. It's interesting how they try to keep her completely an active part of the canvas without having her there.
Yeah.
At least for now.
I wonder if it was because they wondered if by the time the break between episodes, because they have that they're going to have a mid-season break, if they thought Betty was going to be able to come back.
Yeah, that's possible. Or they thought maybe they could get her back for season 8 if they got greenlit for season 8. Yep. So, but it didn't happen.
It did not. But yeah, it's a really good, sweet setup, and it's a good way of setting up the energy, the kind of the element of highs and lows of the episode. And that the lows are going to be these subtle, warm but complicated emotions, which is cool. And then it comes back up again when we get Rhonda's little sniffer.
Yeah. I love the implication that Rhonda was sunning her boobs.
Yes.
She was just sitting there, and then Rhonda smelled done. Just lying there, sun lamping her boobs.
And did you
smell done?
Did you get the reference? It's like, hi ho girls, and Shirley goes hi, and Laverne goes ho.
Ho. Yep. I made a note about that. My other note is show very obviously booby this episode.
Yeah.
They were chasing those Charlie's Angels ratings. Even Charlie's Angels are starting to go down the drain at this point, ratings-wise. Then we get that "Hey Squiggy, I want you" line.
Yeah. What do you do for these? What did you do for these, and how can I meet him?
You say, go in the hallway and yell, "Hey Squiggy, I want you."
Rhonda may be statuesque, but she's not stupid.
The way Leslie delivers that line, it's so great.
Oh yeah, I took a still from that. I posted that on the Twitter before we recorded this episode, which will be many months from now.
Yeah, very many months. Tragically. I love the callback. We get the big callback to Eraserhead.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know who God gave the rest of my body to.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Shirley saying that, looking at Rhonda, and then Laverne basically says Shirley's flattering her by saying God gave the body to her, which is interesting.
It is.
Interesting reversal of themes.
And actually, the I don't know if it was a date with Eraserhead or was it the one Dear Future Models?
No, it was Eraserhead because Carmine walks in with his date, and Laverne looks at her and states says that line.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I try to block that episode out. Anyway.
Yeah, I understand. But anyway. The fact that Laverne's putting up with all this crap is just amazing to me.
Yeah.
Come to Willie, ew, was my note.
Oh yeah, as we get we get into the because we have that little before we get away from the girls talking to each other. She says, "Why don't you wear them?" That Shirley says, "No one will expect that they're real, and that they're real diamonds." And I love the delivery of that. You have 3 seconds to explain that statement.
Like. Yeah, we were just barely in the infancy of breast implants around this time in the 60s, from what I remember. Some my research.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
The real diamonds, that's the real diamonds line.
Oh, I thought there was a reference to, you better clarify that because you're saying my boobs are fake.
No.
I swear that's okay, whatever.
No.
Okay, there we go, yeah.
Yeah, why don't you wear it? Because a mugger wouldn't believe that someone like Laverne would wear real diamonds. And she goes, it's a compliment. It's like, you certainly disguised it well. And then insert yelling is my next note.
Okay, there we go. That's right. I just love that. I love that bit. So we get to spend time with Gross Willie. It was incredibly disgusting.
Yep. At least we get a new set, the Hollywood Hills set, which I do actually say it's exactly what you'd expect out of a California set sitcom. Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah. All the way to Hollywood Hills to... why the hell does he just randomly have his car parked up there?
I mean, Hollywood Hills are not necessarily the best makeout spot. You either got, gangsters, you got... druggies, you got, hell, this is the mid-60s. You got the fucking Manson family up there.
Yeah. Well, be careful of that.
But also, just but you also have people's security detail for their Hollywood Hills homes. You've got coyotes,
Yeah.
Snakes.
Yeah. Watch out for them. Anyway, why? I cannot figure out why the heck, though, he has his car parked up there. Why he wasn't driving Laverne around, at least. But I think that the implication there that they had an implication in there that I probably totally brained over, didn't I?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, he does say the car has been broken down and everything, but it's like it's also a case of I don't know how much I believe that the car is actually broken, because this guy becomes unreliable narrator to everything about his life story, pretty much.
Oh yeah, he's a big old liar, and he's just either trying to get something off of Laverne or get her money, either or.
Yep.
I think she's very lucky that he didn't slip her a Mickey and she didn't wake up in a bathtub full of ice and instructions to call a doctor.
Yeah.
Taped to her.
Yeah.
He's the kind of guy who sells her kidneys on the black market.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and then it turns into Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance. I didn't realize we were going to make Chandwook Park references today.
There you go. Chandwook Park references are always in season, okay? They're always in season.
They are always in season. Oh, that's right. The trailer for the new one's out. Anyway,
yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, his whole thing about Natalie Wood, and it's like, does hair look familiar? Splendor in the grass. Oh, my God.
God, so disgusting. I hate him so much.
And Raphael, the personal mechanic, I love how absolutely fake that sounds. I can't ever imagine a personal mechanic. First of all, a personal mechanic just sounds kind of weird unless they're like high quality, high class, named Raphael.
Raphael.
Sure, in Italy, working on Lamborghinis and Formula One, Ferrari cars, I mean, whatever, or Le Mans, but not, not in Hollywood Hills, not in Beverly Hills, not in the Valley or whatever, the Valley of the Shadow of Death, or anyway. But on the bright side, we do at least get Laverne's Brando.
Yeah, Brando's really funny. Really, 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 really fun work from Penny there.
Could have been a contender.
It could have been a contender. So good.
By the way, producers do not get to call action. The director, the first AD, and sometimes the cinematographer get to. That's it.
Yep. I already knew these things. So he's obviously lying to her. But he's lying to her and we hate him. By the way, Laverne's dress is very much like a red version of that seafoam green dress that she wore out in Milwaukee with the glitter collar. Yeah. But my note here as the gamboling in the front seat goes down is Penny Marshall's legs, that's all.
Yeah.
This is the only reason that I'm engaged in the scene at that point. Because I hate this guy so much, and I don't know what Laverne is thinking. It can't be with her glands because he is not attractive. It can't be with her, with any part of her brain, or even with her heart.
Yep.
Like,
he's not sensitive.
God.
He's not smart. He is.
Nope.
He's
He's a dick bag.
Yeah.
He's a dick bag.
Dick swamp.
Dick swamp.
But
yes.
Yes. My note though is the physical comedy here. Just Penny kills it, being the goofball falling all over the place, and my note also is and looking hot ? Yeah, those legs, seriously. My next note after that is those legs, seriously, Jesus Christ.
I know. It becomes leg exploitation at this point of the episode.
Pretty much.
It's just like, I feel like the director's fetish is her legs, like on the level of Quentin Tarantino's foot fetish.
I was actually going to say Sidney Poitier's legs in Death Proof. Yeah.
Hey.
Because remember, she was in the cutoffs.
There you go.
Yep.
There you go. True. There you go. One of which gets sheared off, but yeah.
Yeah, but that's a Tarantino movie. Anyway.
Tarantino movie. There you go.
I also love that, I like, this is what I mean about an element I love. He's an asshole, but I love Willie Marsh saying, what's your payday on Birdbath? Oh, you mean Bardwell's?
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah. God.
He made her pay for the corn dogs.
Yeah. He made her pay for the corn dogs, and I also noted, remember when cars cost $400?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So she rapidly finds out this guy is a creep.
Yep. And then thankfully runs off and, yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And she finds out he's a dick bag, and she realizes she ain't gonna put up with this because she still is Laverne deep down, in spite of being so credulous that I'm afraid that if she tilts her head back, she's gonna drown in the rain. At this part of canon. It gets worse later.
Oh, God.
And so she grabs her trash bucket, rather, just hauls it over his head.
Mm-hmm.
She's never going to work in this town again. He swears.
Yeah, you'll never date in this town again.
Never in this town again. Fuck you, dude. Completely. Anyway, Laverne has to walk all the way home on heels that are no longer heels.
Yep.
That's when she realizes the earring is missing. Shirley is painting her toenails again. Alone. She's just painting her toenails in the last episode.
It's
but
so
Laverne was
cute,
painting them
though.
for her.
Yes, this little piggy has a corn, half the size of Rome.
Yeah, she just says that. I love that Shirley can kind of entertain herself all by herself. There's something about that amuses me, the way she is when they have a scene with her all alone. And Cindy has to ramble out loud to kind of fill space.
Yeah,
it's always fun.
It's like the loneliness kind of gets to be too much to her sometimes.
Yep, yes, indeed. So then...
Yeah, we have the reveal. The earring. It's missing. There's a bad date. There's laughter. Oh, no. And
what are we going to do about it?
It's like, it's almost like Pop gets the hello entrance here.
Yes. And they do a double hello because they make him go back outside.
Hi, Muffin. Oh, right, I'm supposed to knock. Knock, knock. I love that he knows a guy that'll fix the diamonds if he gets paid in meat.
Yeah. That feels like such a Frank thing. Of course, he's friends with all the restaurateurs in the area. Of course, he knows somebody who's going to, if he do kind of a bartering bargain.
Yep.
Try to get stuff done. It's beautiful. I love that little detail. The girl's desperately trying to think of proper code words to get this done. The bird is up the hill.
Yeah, the caged bird walks slowly in winter. The code, in case to see him coming. The brown bug is dead. Maybe the caged bird ate it. No, that's too long. No, just tell me he's coming. I do love that then Shirley, in her little slippers, being dragged out in the middle of the night up to the scene of the crime, goes boop right into the dude's groin.
Boink.
Yep.
Poor girl.
And then distracting him nicely. And she had to even distract Frank earlier with the Shirley distraction dance, the Twinkle Twinkle Little Star.
Yes. Yeah. She ends up doing that more in the next episode.
Yes, that's right. But yes, I love that. I love here in this episode how Shirley has to distract him in a way. It distracts Willie, Dick Swamp, in such a way that she seems like she's nuts, like, or she's high, like really wasted.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
And it's like, have you seen my brown birdie? No, why don't we look together? And he's that's the kind of like going along with it you would say to somebody that's like, okay, you're really wasted. I need to make sure you're okay.
Yeah. I need to make sure somebody isn't just thrust a hypodermic needle into my neck.
Right.
It's the kind of thing. My next note is and butts. As Laverne desperately digs around in the back of the car. This is how bad the episode is in a way for me.
You took like, very few notes. We've passed over a lot of details. Like my birdie hates convertibles. His father was killed by an MG.
Yeah. Killed by an MG, and then Shirley tries her best to try to distract this dude by even throwing herself upon the mercy of his lips, so to speak. Ugh, vile octopus indeed.
You vile octopus, you scum-sucking fish on the tank of life.
Cindy is so great. The roof gag becomes infamous because it ends up in the season 8 opening credits. Once we get into the Shirleyless Laverne seasons coming up, season episodes, I should have said, same season. That part of it, at least, is visually interesting. At least it's some good physical comedy. But she manages to grab the earrings, manages to save them. The end, everything all's well.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that, please tell me, did you have any more notes about this scene? Because I want to nail everything down. As much as I keep on wanting to shoot people because of the guy being a creep.
The main thing I just, in terms of, the scene is, I mean, I have my off-pod notes. Let me put it that way. But yeah, because we get to the, because we wrap Willie up, as one should before engaging in any sort of activities with him, quote unquote. I love that we get to see Boo Boo Kitty. Got to rinse. She needs to be rinsed on a delicate cycle.
Yes.
And it's a lot of cute to get away from, where Laverne's, trying to ignore how intense, this conversation is going to get with Frank. And it's really good. It's really, really good. I feel like it's just good to wrap up, talk about the episode, because part of it's just, with Willie, we've talked enough. Yeah, I go on my movie rants, so
Movie rants time, yeah.
It's been done.
Good movie rants. I love that Laverne wants to keep it the way her mama had it.
Yeah.
Just sweet. And then Shirley points out that Laverne's not happy for herself, and the little bitch does, where she rubs her face.
Yeah, it's written all over your face. Forget about it, okay? I'll erase my face. And then she uses Boo Boo Kitty.
Yeah, it's so cute. The Boo Boo Kitty cuddling. She's sitting there cuddling Boo Boo Kitty, which is such a rarity for Laverne. She doesn't spend a lot of time cuddling Boo Boo Kitty.
Mm-hmm.
And then Shirley's the one who goes out, gets all her dander up, and goes on the attack.
Sort of.
And she's just...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the case of, the think they say, the think that do, the know, it's like back and forth. I didn't write it down because it was very complicated, and Cindy did an amazing job delivering that line.
Yeah, I wonder if there are any bloopers. I haven't seen any bloopers about it, of it. But it's real good. It's real good.
And then she walks away, and Frank's, she don't know the diet? No, she just think Boo Boo Kitty's a little under the weather. And then I love her asking for Boo Boo Kitty and just yeet right up there.
Yep, you did a perfect catch. Perfect catch. Perfect eat, perfect snuggle, perfect catch.
Yep, thank you.
And then Frank puts the earrings on Laverne.
Yep.
And if she finds out they're really for her, and I melt,
mm-hmm.
You melt, because this is the best part of the episode. I don't know if you're melting. I'm melting.
I melted a bit, yeah. The letter and the sign, your pop, and that, it was always mentioned.
Yeah.
And he's like, I want you to look at it. I want to look at you. I want to look at you wearing them, and just how...
Yeah.
It's so like setting up, it's because it's the whole thing, right? Is you're giving that person a gift, and you don't want to let them know you're going to give it to them. So what you do is just like, well, you try it on. Okay, great. You want to keep it?
Yeah.
There you go. And
yeah.
And then they dance together, which is really sweet, and the whole music substitution. Oh hi.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember what they're originally dancing to. I think I can't remember. I don't remember what it is in the original, but it's, I think, something Italian. I think it might have even been Tony Bennett. I can't remember.
But I also love the final shot of this scene. It has that really nice dolly zoom where they zoom back. They both zoom back and dolly back to wide the frame to take in the whole room. It's kind of stagey the way it's framed, like the composition, but it's just a really nice touch.
Yeah. Cherovich is kind of learning on the job here.
That's what it kind of feels like, yeah.
Yeah. There's actually bloopers that hint that Gary hired the guy because he liked him and he didn't know how to direct, and this was his film school.
Oh God! I mean, he worked on a lot of projects before this, so that's kind of surprising.
Which
but
is odd.
Yeah.
It's possible. It's possible they were just It's possible the way the bloopers are framed is just joshing, so it's probably not true.
Yeah.
But God, this is such a good moment. It's such a nice moment for Frank and Laverne. After everything they've been through, and after everything, all the ups and downs, and her fear that he wants a son, and then him telling her no, who would I give these earrings to if I had a son? Well, he could give his earrings, but...
Yeah. It just that line is... Yeah. If you always think I would have preferred to have had a son, but if I did, then who would I give these earrings to? Yeah, that is...
My heart.
Oh.
My heart. That's so good. And we plunge right from that into the tag scene, where it's implied the same thing is going to happen to Rhonda. So he has his funding, allegedly.
Allegedly has the funding and gave Rhonda an advance. Wait for the check to clear, Rhonda. Wait for it to clear.
Oh, God. That woman is going to end up taking advantage of, and that check's going to bounce, is my guess.
Yeah. I do love the, Willie comes in and Shirley drops the broom in the dustpan, and his thought is, healthy reaction. It means you recognize me.
God almighty. He deserves more of a comeuppance, even though he does get enough comeuppance. He needs more, because I really don't like him. I just really don't like him. He's such a marker of the decline in Laverne's taste.
You swift kick to the groin.
Yeah. No one will miss those balls. No one will miss those balls. Ain't nobody missing them.
Well, I mean, no one's gonna miss them because he's got big balls to be messing with Laverne Shirley. He's got a lot of chutzpah.
Yeah, chutzpah. You got nerve, kid. You got nerve. Lots of nerve.
You got lots of nerve. You got two big potatoes, even if you got a teeny tiny sausage down there. Anyway, all right. So moving on. But yeah. So altogether, I felt like it was a bit of a mixed bag, but it ends really great. And that's the thing. Even if all the threads don't tie together, I felt like this and the last two were kind of where the season 7 stride starts to finally hit, where it's like, okay, this is not going to hurt as bad as last time.
Yeah. It's starting to come together for you finally. Season's finally starting to come together for you. Long last.
Mm-hmm.
About time. Like this is such a middler for me. I swing towards disliking it because of what it does to Laverne. This is the beginning of the end, so to speak, for her intelligence when it comes to men. Even though we saw that most important day ever, everything around that is okay. Yeah. So rank it time, don't you think?
I do have the writer notes because this is the only time. We will. This is the only time we'll have David Lerner and Bruce Ferber. David Lerner has his one Laverne and Shirley writing credit on this episode. He was already a program consultant on Bad News Bears for about a year, worked on Brothers and Sisters, Bosom Buddies, and would go on to Webster, along with quite a few other writers from this season, actually, and House Calls. But most notably would be a producer on The Facts of Life and Growing Pains for quite a while in the mid-'80s. His last writer credit is a 1990 episode of Newhart. While joining David for most of his work in the 1980s, Bruce Ferber would also split off to work on Open House, Nurses, and a whopping 21 episodes of Home Improvement in the 1990s. Whoa. He'd also work on Sabrina the Teenage Witch in the early aughts, and one episode of Dan Versus in 2012, all of which he did producing duties on as well in some capacity. He also was a co-producer on Duet for 4 episodes, tying him once again to former Laverne and Shirley alumni.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. I loved Duet and Open House as a kid. And it's been years since I've seen it. It's like I was like one of those weird kids who was watching Tracy Ullman when I was 7. I don't know what this says about me.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of kids have those like mature things they end up really liking when they're young, and they actually kind of say something about the sophistication of the kid. Because I mean, I was appreciating the drama in some of the action movies I was watching, or the adventure films I was watching when I was young, more than necessarily the spectacle. So I was one of those kids who was sickly, and so I was sitting there watching cable TV, and same here.
And so you learn things, you grow up.
They grow up a little bit. You learn a little something there. Real Sex comes on after hours on HBO, and you're like, hey.
Yeah. Oh, boobs all the time. Anyway, it's time to rank this.
Time to rank this episode, and I'm gonna give this a 6.5.
I have to go. I guess I'm gonna go lower with a 5.5.
Wow. It's just that emotion, that scene, that final scene just it wins to it.
For me, there are only 2 good parts: the girl sisterhood and the Frank and Laverne stuff. If I could slice the Frank and Laverne stuff out of this episode, I would be fine and good to go. I hate this guy. He's such a freaking hallmark of all the bullshit boyfriends that Laverne is going to go through this season and going to go through in season 8, and I hate him. I just want him to burn him with a magnifying glass like he's an ant. I don't like him.
Yeah, so, there's an ant that ain't going to be moving a rubber tree plant.
Hell no. But there's a lot of yeoman work being done here by Cindy Williams. We got to give a hat tip to her. She did a whole lot. Besides all the physical stuff that Penny was doing, Penny has a lot of physical stuff in this episode that's really good. Cindy holds up the verbal end of the comedy, as you pointed out earlier, and it's sizzles. It sizzles. There's some good stuff here that makes it a middling episode, and I don't crash into the basement because of that stuff. Gotcha. But just watch the beginning and then the end. Watch the freaking frame. Do not torture yourself by watching Laverne's slow downfall into what would be referred to as bimbohood back in Milwaukee.
Right. Oh yeah. So it's getting to the point where you gotta watch carefully. Anyway, so with all that in mind, we're going to go ahead and throw our word to our sponsor of the week, which is probably going to be the same sponsor it's been every week, Pinky. But we'll be back in a second with a bit of an outro where you can find us, as well as a clue as to what is coming up next on Night After Night. So stick around. All right. Well, thank you again, everybody, so much for joining us once more on Night After Night. And Lisa, thank you so much for being my co-host in this wonderful endeavor, because you are just so lovely and gracious.
Any day, baby.
Anyway, if you would like to know more out there, all you listeners, you can find us at Night After Night Pod on Facebook, WordPress, Tumblr, Facebook, Patreon, YouTube, and wherever good podcasts can be, collected and put onto your phone or tablet listening device. Or, I don't know, you probably will just grab it out of the ether at some point. And if you're, watching us on the YouTubes, give us a comment. Let us know what you think. Give us a like and hit that subscribe button. Thanks a bunch. And, oh, man.
Ring that bell.
Ring that bell. Speaking of ringing bells, I don't know. It's not ringing any bells right now that I'm looking around. Lisa, why are there a bunch of moving boxes in here?
It's ringing every bell I own. Because Laverne's moving out. Laverne decides to move in with her boyfriend David instead of marrying him. Though things seem to be going swimmingly, when Lenny shows up and makes some pertinent points about the relationship, Laverne changes her mind. Can love survive? This is moving in.
Well, I'm hoping it'll be quite a roasting good time.
Bye, y'all. Don't climb in some idiot's back seat when he doesn't even have the decency to buy you something better than a hot dog. If you're not in it for the money, that's fine. You're just in it for tugging the hot dog, that's okay too. But don't undersell yourselves. Never undersell yourselves, kids.
Yeah, don't get into the back seat unless they're already dead.
Yeah. And if they're dead, bring a shovel. Always bring a shovel. Bye, y'all.